Hi everyone, my name is Zezhong Wang. I'm a postdoc at Simon Fraser University and working with Dr. Sheila Carpendale. And this work is in collaboration with Dr. Shan Hao from East China University of Science and Technology. Today I'd like to present our paper AI4VIS EthiCards, a card-based approach to exploring ethics in AI for data visualization applications. Over the past few years, two forces have been converging on the AI4VIS. First, AI expands what visualization can do, from traditional machine learning all the way to today's wave of generative AI. So AI now contributes across the pipeline from natural language to visualization, narrative generation, automated insight. So this dramatically expands the design space of how data visualization can be used in applications. And second, AI lowers the barrier to building. Tools like ChatGPT Cloud Code let non-expert in data, viz, or AI shape a working AI4VIS application in a matter of days or hours even. The developer pool is no longer just visualization researchers and trained engineers. It includes also domain users, students, hobbyists. Exciting as that is, it also means many more developers and fewer of them with any formal ethics training. The AI4VIS pipeline today, from generation, analysis, enhancement, brings new ethic risks at every stage. Hallucinated visualizations, hidden data provenance, automation bias amplified by the visual authority of charts. On the other side, we have abstract ethical principles, but they are mainly discussed in research literature. So like the transparency, justice, privacy. But these are very hard to translate into specific design decisions. So we designed AI4VIS EthiCards, 62 cards across 6 categories, domain-specific to AI4VIS and designed with activities for pick up and play. So let me briefly walk through some of these categories. Go card anchor the design intent. Is this system generating a new visualization, enhancing an existing one, or supporting analysis? AI4VIS task cards describe the technical how. So 7 tasks adapt from Wu et al.'s taxonomy, including transformation, mining, reasoning, and comparison. This pushed team to name AI's exact role at each pipeline stage rather than viewing it as a generic AI. Ethical principle cards introduce the normative framework. There are 11 principles distilled from Jobin et al. Things like transparency, justice, and fairness, privacy, solidarity, and etc. So this gives the team a shared vocabulary for moral reasoning. People in focus cards bring in stakeholder perspectives, including age variations, marginalized groups, people with health conditions, situated vulnerability, and non-human stakeholders. So they make sure the design is interrogated through more than one set of eyes. We designed this card with 3 design goals. Ease of use, we designed them for pick up and play. Make the concepts accessible, we translate abstract concepts into actionable, relatable prompts. We design it for flexibility that's adaptable across diverse topics and institutional settings. This is a pipeline of our methods in 3 stages. In stage 1, literature review. We started from 12 seed survey papers and expanded through snowballing to 60 papers to identify the recurring dimensions of AI4VIS ethics. So what themes are relevant or for someone new to talk about AI4VIS ethics? And in the second stage, we turned those dimensions and made them categories of card and designed 2 activities. And in stage 3, we ran 5 workshops across 3 universities in Canada and China and iterating on both cards and activity instructions after each workshop. And the deck pairs with 2 activities. The first is design simulation. It's a generative exercise. Group picks one technology card that interests them, and then randomly draw a goal, an AI4VIS task, and a challenge. And their task is to design an AI4VIS application that uses that technology, and that task achieves a goal and address the challenge. For example, a public fountain with an interactive visualization. The fountain represents temperature trends, water scarcity, forest conservation, and they articulated exactly which AI4VIS technique made it possible. So after having this simulated design idea, the group assessed their own concept with the ethical principle cards. This first activity is mainly about creative with the AI4VIS concepts. And the second activity flips the perspective. Participant puts on a judge hat, and each person draws a people in focus card, like marginalized user, and someone with health condition, an older adult, even non-human stakeholder, and perform that person, and speaking from the perspective, and using the prompt, I am whom, I try to do this, but I have this kind of problems. And this turns the team into reviewers of their own design and surfacing ethical issues their original concept missed. In total, we ran 5 workshops with 89 participants. In workshop 1 was part of design feminism class, and the workshop 2 was in an HCI class, and both in Canada. And workshop 3 was an open door industry workshop where startups and practitioners draw in this workshop. And workshop 4 was design department class in China, and workshop 5 was a 3-week data visualization course in China, where students didn't just do those 2 activities, but they also used this stack to audit existing AI4VIS systems and their own assignments. We also ran a separate card comprehension annotation study with 5 reviewers and going through every card to flag anything unclear. And 3 findings from these workshops. And the first one, the task and technology cards prevent sci-fi drift. Teams could articulate AI's exact role at each pipeline stage, rather than treating it as a pure magic. So for example, in workshop 3, a group analyzing COVID-19 data said, we used mining to extract trends from existing dashboards, reasoning to derive summaries from the social media comments, and comparison to highlight inconsistencies between the data resources. And their concept was speculative, but they tend to be specifically and technically grounded. The second finding is that the principle and people in focus card help teams move away from thinking about features first and instead thinking about values first. Here are 2 examples. So in workshop 1, one team designed a system that turned personal health data into attack power in a competitive game to encourage the exercise and healthy lifestyle. But when they used the fairness and solidarity principle cards, they started to notice a problem. This design could stigmatize people with disabilities or chronic illnesses. So they changed the direction, moving away from competition and toward cooperative goals. In workshop 3, a co-wide dashboard group picked the non-human people in focus card. This helped them realize that an AI system might incorrectly link the raising co-wide cases with pet ownership. And this kind of false correlation could cause harm to both people and animals. To address this, they added manual verification and extra data sources to check and correct the automated output. So in both cases, the ethical issue didn't come directly from the team's technical instincts. They were surfaced by the cards and early enough for the teams to respond to the change of their design. The third finding is the card deck helps create a shared vocabulary across disciplines. And in our workshops, computer science participants often reached for the technology and AI4VIS cards, and these cards matched the way they were used to thinking. For example, describing a model operations, system functions, and the different stages of a pipelines. While design participants, on the other hand, were more likely to use people in focus card and ethical principle cards, and this helped them talk about stakeholder impact, values, and the broad social consequences of design. But when they collaborate in groups using the same card structure, and the cards become a kind of shared language, and they help participants connect their different perspectives and talk to each other. As one participant told us, the discussion with my team, particularly because we come from different backgrounds and see things differently, enriched the workshop experience. Across the workshops, we found that the deck working in 3 different ways. First, it worked as an pedagogical scaffold. It helped connect abstract theories to hands-on practice in classroom settings, especially for beginners who were just starting to learn about AI4VIS ethics. And second, it worked as a generative ideation tool. Because the cards are tangible and easy to scan, they help teams to bring ethical considerations into the early stages of design, rather than treating ethics as something to check at the end. Third, it worked as a critical auditing mechanism. Participants use the principle and challenge cards almost like a structured checklist, and helping them evaluate both the existing systems and their own design ideas more critically. We see 2 main directions for future work. The first direction is to develop extension packages. For example, we could create additional card sets for UX design, software engineer, or other related domains. We also want to build a digital repository that can better keep track of the rapid development of generative AI, including emerging ethical principles, challenges, and use cases. And the second direction is to explore alternatives and hybrid scaffolds. This could include large language model facilitated companions that help flag the ethical considerations that teams might have overlooked. We also want to compare the card deck with other formats, such as worksheets or critic tools, to better understand when and why cards are useful. And in the end, the deck is open and ready to print at AI4VIS EthiCards.github.io. And you can scan the QR code to the website, and together with the activity menus and the full card gallery. Thank you so much for listening.